And thanks a lot, Mr. Dhanuka, for joining in. First up, if you could address what exactly are you looking for in terms of buyback? Will you do 10% of the reserves in surplus, or will you go the whole hog, do 25% and take a shareholder's approval? And secondly, how exactly are you going to fund it?
In the last board meeting, it was decided that the management will buy back 2% maximum number of shares and amount equivalent to 80 crores. And the maximum price at which the company will buy will be 850 rupees. We have already sent the resolution for the approval of the shareholders through ballots, and the result will be out on 2nd of January. And 3rd of January, the board committee will meet, and then the final price and the buyback issue details will be finalized.
Okay, so it's an 80 crore buyback at a price of 850 per share, which means about a 15% upside from current levels. Sir, if you could tell us, is this going to be a tender buyback? And secondly, if the promoters will be participating?
Yeah, it will be a tender buyback, and promoters will also be participating on the same. So
your stake will continue to be 74.9%?
Yeah, naturally, we hope we cannot have more than 75%.
Sure.
So,
We do understand that, Mr. Dhanuka, but can you throw light on how exactly are you going to fund the buyback? Because as of September, you had 2.7 crores of cash in your books. You do have 66 crores worth current investments. Are you going to liquidate that to fund this buyback?
Yeah, naturally, the current investments are only the excess cash available with the company, which has been invested by the company. So we will encash those current investments and will do the buyback.
Okay. Sir, is this buyback over and above the dividend that you will be paying to your shareholders in this year? Or is this a buyback a replacement to the dividend policy?
Actually, it's you can say combined of a dividend as well as rewarding the shareholders.
So can we expect?
Okay, so no dividend coming from Dhanuka Agritech, because you do generally give a dividend, to the tune of like 3 rupees, 4 rupees, depending on the year. So that dividend is not going to take place this time.
Yeah, some dividend part will be there, but not to that extent.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot for all those details, Mr. Dhanuka. Then coming back to your business, how exactly has the pest infestation been? Our channel checks suggest that they've been low this year. And if indeed they have been low, how does that affect your business?
You're right. This year, the pest infestation was quite low. And the impact of demonetization is also there because the rural economy is totally cash-driven. So ultimately, it is going to impact, and few of the crops, farmers are able to get bumper crops like potato for tomato, and they are not able to get the right prices for their crop. That is one big issue. So overall, since Dhanuka is only a domestic company, the demonetization has impacted Dhanuka in a, you can say, more significant way in comparison to the company who are in exports also. So we foresee that this quarter should be a little bit, you can say, flattish type or single-digit growth in this quarter.
All right. So last time you spoke to us, you said that, you expect normalcy to return post-December, and you were expecting 10 to 15% of sales in November earlier. So could you now, November is over, we've started December. In fact, December is also almost over. How has it panned out so far? Did you get that 10 to 15% expected sales in November, and December, how was it?
No, that was before the announcement of demonetization. But after demonetization, I said that there is impact of 10 to 15% downfall in the sales. So overall, that itself is an achievement that we are able to maintain the last year top line in this after demonetization in November and December month.
Okay, so we should expect a flattish quarter from Dhanuka Agritech this time around. Has there been any impact on the company's working capital, and if it has been stretched, if you could elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, because of this demonetization and the cash crunch in the market, because the new currency was not available in the system, and the farmers usually deal on cash basis. they were not able to repay to the retailers, and ultimately retailers to the distributors and distributors to the company. So there is definitely cash crunch, and the cash flow has been impacted by around 20-25 days.
All right, so in that case, Mr. Dhanuka, would it not have made sense for you to keep your current investments rather than liquidating them, perhaps for a short-term, umbrella for the company, and then gone with the buyback a little later? And secondly, what about your margins? They're the highest in the industry. Can we expect some decay there, or will they continue to grow?
No, for the year end, we have given basically guidance of 50 bips improvement over last year, but definitely there will be pressure in this particular quarter, third quarter, in the margins. And since the buyback was announced prior to demonetization, so it was not possible to now, once the company has made the announcement, to take it back considering the demonetization impact.
Okay, sir, we leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining in, and a happy new year to you.